Hello Guardians, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Well guys, that is almost it. We are almost at the end of year 7 of Destiny 2. Year 8 is on the horizon, and in today's video, like every year, we try to do a preview for the big showcase event. And I have to put it out there that this showcase is going to be like no other, because undeniably, this showcase is going to be the start of revealing us to a brand new saga, and this is very important, not just for the player base, but for the narrative, for the story, for the future of Destiny 2. I really don't know how long Destiny 2 will keep going, if they do make another game, or if they keep doing it for the next 20 years, or until we're 90. I really do not know. So this will be a very interesting showcase, and I'm very intrigued to see what Bungie does in terms of adding a huge new saga to the story and to the game of Destiny 2. But other than that, I hope you guys do enjoy this showcase preview video. If you guys do, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. But other than that, let's get right into it. One thing to note here going into Destiny 2 New Frontiers is that there are some massive changes that Bungie is planning for the new saga. Bungie sort of talked about this back in September with some of the massive changes that they're planning, from the new dungeon and raid format, to the new portal screen, to the new weapons and armor updates, to even the modifiers and the new changing difficulty for activities. There's a lot of changes that they talked about and that they are likely going to expand upon and even further show more changes going into the new year. So basically a lot of quality of life changes that are coming to the game that I am very excited for, and I think it will put Destiny 2 in a very different place than it was months prior. Now, going into the more broader things here, because we're going to start off with more of that, Destiny 2 Year 8, Year of Prophecy, is going to begin with the Apollo expansion Edge of Fate, which will be releasing July 15th, 2025. And yesterday we did a video on the Collector's Edition, which talks about that the next expansion, that the last expansion of the year, which is coming out in winter of 2025, is going to be called Renegades. And going into this, the Edge of Fate expansion will be including a brand new raid that will be expanded upon with new encounters, mechanics, new loot, new challenges, and the fall free update, which is going to come out around September to October, which will also be during the marathon launch. And then again, this free second update, if you will refresh the core game with new activities, strikes, exotic missions, entirely new modes like Onslaught, weapons, armor, artifact mods, exotics, and more. There will be new weekly events, new features, combat meta, and balance changes. And then after this, we will have, of course, the Behemoth Winter 2025 expansion, Renegades, which will be a brand new dungeon. Dungeon keys will no longer exist in the game, and this dungeon will be a bit bigger because it will be launching with an expansion. So expect the same amount of loot that you get with raids, sort of, to happen with this dungeon. So expect more armor sets, more weapons, stuff like that, because this will be a bigger dungeon. Then 3 months after that, with Renegades, we will be getting another free update that will sum up the year, which will have a limited time event like Rite of the Nine and the Pantheon, sort of Into the Light-esque, if you will. And this will also include the other things that I mentioned with new activities, exotic missions, sort of, again, like an Into the Light-esque update. After that 3 months, we will be in Year 9, which will be the future. So basically, that kind of sums out the year. 2 big expansions and then 2 minor updates. This brand new expansion, Edge of Fate, will kick off the year by being a non-linear character-driven adventure. This story will take place over a course of different threads from A, B, C, and D, and you can experience any way you want to. There is no time gating, no waiting to drop. Edge of Fate's story will unfold based on the player's progression. And as you can see in the recent teasers, we are going to a very interesting destination known as Kepler. Now, this will be the Edge of Fate sort of expansion, and a lot of the story will revolve around the 9. Yes, the 9 that haven't been around for quite some time. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do. We are going to get into the story a little bit later, but I just wanted to point that out with how this story is going to be unlike any other story that we've been through in some time, because the 9 and the mysterious way of surrounding it is super interesting for the players of Destiny. For the brand new year, when you pre-order Edge of Fate, you will be getting a awesome pre-order bonus. This will be a reworked version exotic from Destiny 1, used to be called No Land Beyond, but now called New Land Beyond. Now this will serve as the pre-order bonus, and we're going to go over the little bit of the stats and the exotic perks that you can get with it. Its reworked exotic perk is called the Master, and the perk called Bullseye Bolster will be the intrinsic. So the Master exotic perk basically says scoring precision hits increases this weapon's damage until the wielder's defeat. Bullseye Bolster will be basically say landing a precision hit sustainability increases this weapon's target acquisition, handling, reload speed, and stability for a short duration of time. It will serve as a special weapon, but it will be in the primary slot. Now, it also says that when this weapon gets around, 80% damage buff at 24 stacks of the Master. When you hit 20 stacks, the buff's name changes to the Grandmaster. So this will serve as a really interesting weapon, sort of in a way of like Izanagi, but as you serve and you get precision hits, you will basically be increasing its damage output against more enemies and likely against other Crucible combatants if you're playing in the Crucible. So really interesting stuff there, and now will serve as the pre-order bonus. And when the Edge of Fate expansion comes out, we will likely get hands-on with the pre-order exotic catalyst, which will likely be a quest or something you get from Banshee, something very simple, and that will also buff the weapon in some sort of capacity. So let's get into more of the story beats, the narrative, and what we will likely see tomorrow for the showcase event. Now, this new story will no longer be a one linear narrative, but it will provide an even bigger story with a lot of more threads and storylines being happening all at once, which is very interesting, and then you choose as the player which story to sort of go into. Again, don't take all this information as 100% correct, but hopefully it comes close as possible, as this is from a credible leaker known as Liz. Now, apologies, but here we go. Now, the location for the destination is actually known to be Kepler. Now, this is actually very much confirmed at this point. As we saw in the Edge of Fate teaser, the word Kepler was in the text at the very end, and in the collector's edition, it does confirm the Kepler location, and it also confirms that there is another location name known as Old Chicago in the Edge of Fate teaser. So it looks to be that the Kepler and Old Chicago are going to be two locations that we are likely going to see either throughout the year or just in Edge of Fate alone. So be on the lookout for that. It's actually very interesting because the Witch Queen years ago, that expansion, its original location was supposed to be Old Chicago. So it'll be sort of kind of cool to see Old Chicago finally in the game, or somewhat in the game, because it looks like this will be on the location known as Kepler. So apparently a pre-Golden Age train crashes into the city somewhere, only half of it though, as it came through a portal. Some dude on it named Lodi, somewhere on said train or on him, is calling a calling card for the 9. We track the location of the portal origins, which takes us to the new destination known as Kepler. Upon finding the other half of this train, there's another character there who left the 9. These planets are apparently... time is all screwed up, and it looks like the Vex and Fallen will be the main enemies here. Vex seeing time is kind of their thing, so it makes very much sense. Apparently we were brought here because of some sort of incident with the 9. Now, the more of the story beats goes as followed. Since the story is non-linear, there's multiple things happening which you can partake in. One of the story focuses on, guess who, Osiris for the 950 fucking time, and the person we find on the train is the new destination. One of the Fallen houses is on this planet, seems to be the main antagonist, so maybe Mithrax or any of the Vex Fallen characters might come into the story here. Ikora investigates this Lodi guy we found on the train, and there has to be something to do with the Drifter in a ship. So something like that. We saw a little bit of teases with that at the end of Heresy, so it'll be very interesting to carry along there. Apparently, though, it will be a Vex raid due to them being there. Very excited, but again, we haven't seen a new Vex raid since Shadowkeep and a new Reprise Vex raid since Vault of Glass. So it looks to be that the Vex will be the main enemy for the next raid. So let me know your thoughts on that. I know it's causing a little bit of concern here if you don't like the Vex, or if you do. It's been a while. I don't think anyone wants a Cabal raid anytime soon. I would be down for a Fallen one, but it looks like the Vex is going to be the main antagonist for this one. But it is interesting to keep in mind that Vex and Fallen are there. I wonder if the Dread or any of the other enemy races will be there, or are they being saved for another expansion? So yeah, that really sums up thus far of what we have. We went into what the release dates are, we went into what are the changes and the features we are likely going to see, and some of the story narratives plus the pre-order bonus. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on all of this. I know it was a pretty short one, but again, we don't really know too much, as that's all we really got for the Frontiers sort of expansion-esque saga that's about to begin. I'm very interested to see what Bungie reveals tomorrow, and I will be live streaming. So if you feel free to join up and let me know your thoughts on what we are likely going to see tomorrow. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.